RomeroXVII here, and we're going to be showcasing another fight from ESFL Vegas. Now, this fight was against ZootedMojo. I have fought other people, but they weren't able to showcase other fights. You know, I beaten Cam Noetta, shout out to him, one of the members of my channel, beating Dirty Dave, really solid player in the ESFL. I don't remember if he held a belt in the ESFL, but he was pretty damn close. Obviously, I beat Pry, and then I have Dabikin after this. So yeah, the ZootedMojo fight. Now, this fight, we were fighting on the regular PlayStation 4. And one thing I didn't like so much with the regular PlayStation 4, it was really hard to sidestep this bout. I do remember like that being an issue. And the way he was playing, out of all of the guys that I faced, including like the finals, in terms of more annoying and trying to stay focused the entire fight, it was definitely this bout. Because usually when you go against guys who are of higher caliber, there's a process of where they're building with their strikes. You're expecting like an end-all be-all result. Zooted is really solid in kind of doing just enough and kind of trying to get you to overreact to what he's doing. So I do recall like he's beating a lot of good guys around. He was beating a lot of solid guys in the tournament. So this was a very pivotal bout for me to win. So let's go over on the full screen. And the first bout, he had chosen Alexander Volkanovski versus, and I was using Max Holloway.
Yeah, if you are in for a show right now, anytime that you had this Max Holloway pickup, you're talking about some of the best hands in the game. Even though he doesn't have a lot of power, he has a 5-star jab, a 5-star straight. Now, you see Romero coming out right now.
So boom, I wanted to establish my distance with that spinning side kick. That's one of the first thing I want to do, because what I want to do is, if I see him start to sidestep, I want to set up the switch kick. It's a good bait, especially because really good players, they start to sidestep after you throw a spinning sidekick move at them. Another thing I started to do with Max after my Pride fight, I remembered, I'm like, damn, I completely limited my own moveset because I wasn't using Max's signature stuff. So once I remember, I think I did it a couple times in this battle, but let's keep watching.
Already in his bag, he does a spinning kick, and man, what do you have to do if you're ZootedMojo to you want to get this fight on the ground, or you got to get in close, Bailey? What do you got to do to mitigate the damage that you?
So right there, yeah, I recall, that clinch. So he faked the clinch, faked the takedown, went up top, then went into the clinch. Now, one thing I noticed offline, it was a little bit easier to defend the clinches in terms of like, what I can do before getting pressed up against the cage. But I noticed that he didn't necessarily want to go down to the ground with me. The clinch was more so a deterrent for me to initiate grappling. And I can't really do that with Holloway outside of a spear or getting a takedown by the cage. So I kept mentioning all of that. Counter
from the hands of Max Holloway.
Well, I mean, he put a lot of pressure on Romero right there, who answered with a nice little combination.
Yeah. Y'all don't see that. So I'm gonna give you a little tip. Meta speaking, whenever somebody's throwing a lead body kick or lead high kick, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna follow up with a straight. If you don't end up getting hit stun or you block the strike, it's really a good idea for you to slip and rip off a counter. Even if you don't slip a counter, you have frame advantage to block and slip. So the lead high kick, people follow up with that cross, and that's how I was able to get that counter there.
Well, you just dumped a head kick and hit him with an overhand. That's lovely.
I mean, and they're so fast. I mean, the reflexes that you need to do that. I mean, right now, throwing a kick outside of range, but look, backing up right now, and look, the stamina advantage right now already going to Romero. Let's see what happens, baby.
Yeah, nice switch to the body there. Distance.
Did make a mistake here, son.
Step in with these short shots. Obviously, has to close the distance.
Intercepted his distance.
Nice kick. Yeah, Max is bigger, but doesn't have a reach.
Now, one thing I also like to do, I was feinting my second strike. Usually, as I got warmed up into the tournament, you know, the initial thing I do, I kind of feint with my initial strike, but I started feinting my second strikes to get into range, but I also started feinting in the middle of my combination. So I started going like landing a shot, feinting, and using that to get out of range, or landing a shot, feinting, and then landing another shot.
In this matchup, we've got short arms, but he has the kicks. If he can get them working, Mojo's pushing that pace, trying to take this fight on the inside.
Wow, and look at Romero there. He's switching from orthodox to southpaw. He's trying. I think he's trying to line up the back foot on the stomach side of ZootedMojo. I mean, it's a lot of games that are being played right now. Right. As soon as
twice now that's happened to me in this tournament where I pulled, and that's not something, I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's anything that he necessarily expected or scouted. That wasn't a mistake from me. So another thing I noticed with this tournament, a lot of times where I've gotten in trouble were mainly due to my mistakes. Only guy that really set up something was so far at this point was Pride. Like Pride had legitimately set up his body shot counter to get me to react that way. Where this was more so, okay, I preemptively pulled it, threw a body kick, but wasn't really able to follow up at all.
We talked about
the
it
block's
right
gone,
there.
and the head health is gone.
Wow, Bailey, what just happened there?
Oh my God! Well, I think Romero was doing some head movement while stationary with a little bit less stamina, and Zooted just landed that liver kick on that off the southpaw stance as well, so he gets an even bigger boost.
Another thing too,
broke the block and beat the head health off as well. But
I was switching stances because I'm really trying to emulate Max. I'm not just
early rock.
trying to do set up other stuff. I'm really trying to emulate Max.
You see these players doing when they're switching stances, when they're going from orthodox to southpaw, it is for a reason. It is something they're seeing. It's something that they're protecting, whether it's their backside so they don't get those rocks. However, even though with that Max Holloway pickup, you suffered a knockdown, you can come back at any moment, especially when you're as talented as Romero here. But man, he needs to turn this fight around now, Bailey, if it's going to happen.
Oh, looking for that
now
against the cage.
Notice I clinched him right back. He's been clinching me. You have to respond. If the guy's clinching you after 2 or 3, if you're not clinching back, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Mojo's doing a great job breaking that block down over and over again and getting to the head health of Romero early here in this fight. Oh, yeah, there's the same kick.
The body kick.
Wow, same kick. You gotta watch out, Bailey. So right now, if you're Romero, you're trying to protect that liver side.
So now, because he's been throwing that body kick, I made the adjustment. You know what? Now that he's throwing this body kick so much, I'm gonna start planting and following up and landing the damage that I can land. As long as there's no hood stun, I'm gonna go for that. So that's a little tip that y'all can take. If somebody's really trying to land these body kicks on you, plant to mitigate the damage and start to land the shots.
Away from ZootedMojo because he is fishing that out right now successfully, but just like we said,
I love that spinning heel kick. Come on now.
Stand up by Max Holloway can come out at any time, and right now you got a knockdown for both of the fighters. I'm not sure who's going to win this first round. We talking 23 seconds, Bailey, and left in the first round. What's going to happen, man?
I mean, Romero did a great job breaking down the block and setting that wheel kick up. Like, he wanted to throw that 5 seconds before he threw it. I think because he slipped and threw the right hook, he got outside of that knee because that knee was really well timed right there.
Ooh, yeah, a jumping knee evaded, and then I saw...
So that's the thing I started to pick up on. I'm like, yeah, a lot of this stuff, what Zooted was doing was mainly cycling specific combinations. It wasn't that he was necessarily reading me. Like, there's obviously some course of reading, but it's kind of like when you go against a guy who's been playing ranked for a long time. They're used to doing XYZ and getting this type of response or this type of result. But what I noticed that it was really easy to bait him to start to over respond to everything I was doing. Like the head movement set up there where I got the spinning heel kick, he didn't move his head, like he wasn't too sure, and I saw him duck, so he's kind of thinking like maybe he's gonna go for something there, so he kind of stayed in block, but I was able to get the spinning heel kick off. So now we're heading to round 2, knockdowns on both sides.
ZootedMojo go for that devastating roundhouse, but it didn't land. Romero was able to block it. Round 2, I'm pretty sure we'll see some more fireworks.
Reaching at that rear hand.
Round 2, guys. This is the 4th round of the
Nope. I figured he was going to try to set that up.
Shout out to Prospects by Sports Illustrated who are sponsoring the
so
event.
I stepped away from the kick, clinching to get away.
We're also in partnership with us here today, and the UFC as well. Second round's heating up here, Boxer.
Yeah, second round, these guys already getting after it. And right now, Romero had to fight off his back foot. Let's see if he can get off of the cage and get back to the
I'm reading the uppercut. And then they're right there, too. If there's any telltale sign that your opponent is fishing for a hard counter, not necessarily like trying to time it, but more so fishing for it, is when I see guys move their head movement stick like that. That kind of told me, yeah, he's not really seeing it. He's kind of hoping something happens that opens up the opportunity for him to get that counter. Another thing that he kept doing, that third strike, he kept on using the uppercut. Or it would be a straight, but both of the times it was almost like a straight shot every time. So I kept a mental note of that as well.
ZootedMojo is pouring on that pressure.
Reaching with the second shot, too.
And I sense that ZootedMojo, he wants to get this fight to the ground.
So it's my stance to mitigate the leg kick damage.
Great job on the feet right now.
Such a high-paced fight, this boxer. And they're changing stances, they're changing ranges. It's not like a high-paced boxing fight. This is a high-paced MMA fight. There's takedown threats as well. Great job by Romero there, stifling the takedown with the short shots from the inside.
You can switch your stance to mitigate
it. Breaks down the block. He comes on the outside. The 2 lead uppercut is there, though. Open stance, great counter to stop him.
another thing that I did pretty well this tournament, you can kind of use the fact that you have low block to bait your opponents too. Because even my long-term block is still high, it's just a short-term that goes low. So if he's playing by the meter and he's focusing on when my animation comes up, he will assume, all right, now he's going to be on defense. But I'm going to take that opportunity to go on offense, which is why he's not able to kind of follow up. When he sees the animation happen, now I know, hey, this is front guard, so I'm safe from all straight shots. I really got to be worried about trying to duck or pull because the round shots are going to go through.
Yeah, both of these fighters have great cardio. When you talk about Max Holloway, 100 in that cardio department, so he can do a lot of output. But I still feel like ZootedMojo wants to get this fight on the ground.
Yeah, there it is. Is that response? Yeah, he's moving himself to the side. Now the rear hook's starting to land.
Because Max Holloway is
slip the uppercut.
In the high 80s there on the bottom control.
And notice I'm planning and landing at the end of this combination.
He's able to
reaching.
Because with that range of Max Holloway, you want to fight out there. But this fight is going back and forth, baby.
Such a high-paced fight between these two.
There it is. There's
beautiful
the
level change.
Wow. That was a good
the jab as well went right underneath it. And it goes to side control as well, Boxer. That's great.
Man, you can't just... You can't just do a shot whenever you want to.
To the right.
Look, this is what we talked about.
Sprawl.
Alexander Volkanovski.
Now from here,
when you had it,
I was pretty sure. I'm pretty sure like it was banned. You couldn't undeniable fake from sprawl, which I think is pretty dumb because you trade off so much damage here. But whatever.
Top control versus the bottom control of Max Holloway, and
right
now you're just scoring. You're just eating all of these shots over and over. And what Romero is looking at right now, he wants his GA to build when he can either stand up or
Ref's gonna stand up. Right? Yeah, I figured he wasn't gonna try to transition, so I was able to take the shots.
He did, but I think the head health is more of a concern right now. But for sure, I mean, he took that big shot, slipped straight into it. Nice duck under though, keeps himself alive. Suited, but definitely Romero still dangerous right there. Is diminishing a little bit under this pressure though from Mojo.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah,
you gotta be careful, even when you're on top sprawl and you're just you can gas yourself out by throwing a lot of punches. And right now,
front kick catching you, jabbing.
And he slipped it. Elbow, man, and he's gonna finish him.
This is gonna be
no, don't fucking finish
him. On the inside, look at that, man. I mean, it was a great job by Mojo getting the rock, but the pull counter and the slip into the elbow from Romero gets the drop and almost finishes it.
Wow, that's some slick stuff here. Let's see if Mojo can get his mojo back in this third round.
Yeah.
Come back.
I mean, like, Romero's down on the stamina. He's taken a lot of damage. He almost finished that fight, but now we're going to another round. Volkanovski's going to recover.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if, I'm up on the block. My stamina's still pretty freaking good.
He has higher altitude as well, I think.
Exactly.
Exactly. I was chilling.
Benefits playing Volkanovski going into this third round. Romero is going to have a tough time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, now
going right back to him. Seeing how he's reacting.
Here, throwing those 1-2s. We talked about
sidestep across.
5-star level, jabbing straight. But look at the stance switching here. He wants to protect that body, and
that's not what it is, boxer.
Stance switching by Mojo here, because Mojo knows that liver is open.
He's switching because I'm switching. He's not switching because he's playing.
Boom. Again. Again.
By Romero.
I'm gonna get up.
He finish it off, and he's like, no.
Get your ass up.
Comes back down there, and
get your ass up.
Is he gonna let it do it for a third time?
I would
have. What a sequence there by Romero.
He was so calm with that. It was a 1-2 lead uppercut. Pulled the lead uppercut. Hit him with the elbow, and that's a guarantee.
Time.
Look at that huge uppercut there. Just to end the night early there from Romero.
There's a pattern. Even with those guys who move their head in that way, there's a pattern. He's going duck, slip, duck, then slip, duck, then pull. So landing that uppercut there, I'm noticing when his health gets to a certain point, that's his cue to start to move his head all over the place. So kind of same thing like in the Proxys fight. I'm looking to aim where he's going to be as opposed to where he already is.
Wow, Bailey, that came out of nowhere, but we know it was something was going to happen. I didn't think this third.
You're not very good at fighting on the inside.
Exactly.
Obviously, I mean, it's very good because
so I'm up 1-0
in that respect. You got short arms. You can throw.
And I was just like, bro, when he mirrored the Adesanya pick, I was like, are you serious?
So fighting in close.
I was really hoping he'd go Robert Whittaker, which is an odd thing to say because you think that Robert would be a better pick, but online here in Vegas, I mean offline here in Vegas, Adesanya was significantly better. Like he was significantly better than Robert under the right hands. So online with delay and everything, stuff like that, so Sotogari, stuff like certain picks are just better offline, whatever it may be. But offline, though, Sotogari is basically useless. And, you know, Adesanya has some more time to shine.
But this is a mirror match.
Yeah, mirror match.
So they're both going to constantly try and find that range. But also, we just saw them go toe-to-toe in such a high-paced fight. And now we're going to see it again. They have even more techniques to use. Yeah. So here we go.
Exactly. I'm expecting both fighters to get in their bag because Israel Adesanya, he has a lot of kicks.
He has a lot I could not sidestep those for the life
of me. You can just pull out. Team kicks, I mean, down low. I mean, he's just strong in his striking here. So let's see what happens in all of the games that's being played. It's just meta on top of meta right now.
Yeah.
Romero, ZootedMojo, round 1, Israel Adesanya, mirror match. What more can you ask for, baby?
I mean, these guys are both so good. You can tell Zooted has definitely played
so,
Izzy a ton. He starts
the adjustment I made from the last bout into this bout was, well, he's mainly focused on defending his head. When I thought I couldn't really go to the body, it was a little bit too risky when he was using Volkanovski. I just didn't feel safe per se. Now that we're of fighters of similar height, I'm like, all right, I can feel like I can attack them lower extremities. So I realized, I'm like, let me go leg kicks and see how well he's going to be able to defend the leg kicks. If he's checking them right away, let's avoid that. But he hasn't been able to check them, been able to time them. And kind of like what I was saying before, where the game plans to kind of force me to make a mistake. I'm noticing he's still kind of doing the same things, like lead leg kick, feint to cross, then an occasional spinning elbow, etc., etc. And he's throwing out the side kick now out of Adesanya, but I'm not seeing him really build anything off of that.
So much as he fades back there, which actually protects his body. It's really smart. But, you know, these guys probably start switching more than anyone we've seen in this competition so far. But nice little trip right there. Romero back to the feet will take some long-term
a lot of damage.
Looking for that pull counter that he did so well with early. Both guys, you really need those side kicks right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that stand switching is something that normal players, they may only stand switch if something gets hurt and it forces a stand switch. However, these players are stand switching because these things give you different advantages based upon what your opponent is doing. And right now, we're just seeing a lot of meta. These guys are just landing a lot of different.
Saw how much damage that leg kick did on his planted leg because he extended his leg, didn't land on me, and I attacked his planted leg. Leg kicks do more damage. Already his right leg is taking a significant amount of damage, which is a reduction to his power. So now, not only am I doing a good job being the outfighter and I'm landing more significant shots, he's only trying to land punches or land whatever, but he's not maximizing the damage that you can get from them. Whereas I'm landing my kicks either when he's entering range or when he's stationary or right before he's about to start something. And another thing that I was able to take advantage of is that Zooted has the play style of trying to get one back. Like he's really focused on, I got to get this one back. I got to get this one back. And whereas I'm like, all right, I can disengage here. I can pick my spots. And of course, the stand switching, I don't know about him, but for me, I'm looking to emulate Adesanya. Yes, there's openings I can get offensive-wise, but I'm also trying to challenge some Adesanya. I don't know how far this was after the Victoria fight. Was it the Candemir fight? One of the two fights was definitely inspired by that.
Shots down low, up top, Bailey. I mean, this is a lot going on right here. You gotta figure this out.
Nice 1, 2, 3 and a frame out there by Romero. He's also
with
the leg kick.
That shit was clean.
That kind of could be an equalizer. A very methodical, close matchup. Nice 1-2 body kick there from Romero. Mojo being the one that's pressuring right now, but he's kind of walking into a few shots, gets another drop.
Yes, baby. Yes, he was.
Yeah, it is very impressive anytime you
I knew he was
that
going to
side
go for
kick
me.
because it can be evaded.
Couldn't fucking side
and also, that spinning back kick there, that also can be evaded. But you need to understand, based upon your opponent's stance, you want to be walking to that opposite side to evade that. You also can sidestep it, but you got to do it.
Another thing, too, he's continuing to throw his offense when his short-term stamina is low. So his shots are not matching the quality of what I'm landing. Like, look at my health stats. Look at his. Look at that leg. That leg is cooked.
At a moment's notice, and these players are good at baiting that out and throwing it exactly at the right moment. And that's what we're seeing right now. ZootedMojo pouring on that pressure right now against the cage. But look at there, Romero able to return a combination of his own.
He did, but he lost stamina because he planned to do it, and then Mojo punished him a little bit to the body for it. And, you know, this pressure from Mojo, he is walking into shots, but it is kind of helping him corral Romero a little bit here. There's another side kick, and that's why he's pressuring so much. He keeps pushing him to the back of that cage.
So he checked 2 kicks there, and let me chill for plant more.
I don't think nobody has taken a takedown attempt right here. It looks like it's all going to be on the feet, just exchanging shots right there. Nice knee to the body right there, and that was a huge uppercut. This may separate Mojo right here in this fight, in this first round. Landed some big-time significant strikes there, baby.
Nope, I've outstruck him for 4 minutes, brother.
Oh, what a whip.
Nothing. Nothing.
Stiff arms out.
Nothing.
Burning a lot of stamina in that first round as well.
4 minutes of work beats one boxing. 4 minutes of work beats one.
Anytime
that wasn't even one. That was
those
30
spinning
seconds.
kicks, you gotta watch your stamina. But you see, you want to pull those out at the end of the
You do not want to blow touch.
That's what I see.
Nice guy, though.
Recovery there from both of those fighters. Look like ZootedMojo still has the stamina advantage there. A nice.
Notice I'm not pulling as much either because of the last bout. Let me not give him an opportunity. Especially because I figured he's going to be the type of player. To me, look what he's doing with his head again when he starts to panic. Starting to spin the elbow.
Hunting it down.
Those hands.
Clinch. Nice swim. Frame. Double knees.
I know he's looking for.
Straight back to the fence again, boxer.
Yeah, exactly. Those do a lot of damage, and I saw
seen he's looking
kicks
for.
There from that back fist there from both of those fighters, and they want to throw that when their opponent is throwing that jab, as that can go over the top of that. Right now, both of these fighters are still big. I had to feel that somebody pulled out.
Look how much that blood through. Timing where he's gonna be.
It's a little bit right now, but returning a combination of his own, Bailey. And this is a fast.
Yeah, he's noticing him having a hard time trying to size them.
Mojo is very good.
Wow, and there it is. Takedown, but it got
exact same
time.
time.
That Mojo has been slamming these body kicks in really nicely, and his teep game and side kick game has just been really
I'm on this side now.
In this matchup, he's been able to drain the stamina of Romero, who I feel like is kind of a little bit unsure of the best way to approach this stylistically.
Yep. And this
I know what happened.
This is one of the fights where you just really have to stay focused. All right, because both of these fighters here, it can just turn the tide at any given moment.
There it is. I finally sidestepped it.
That front kick, that was very nice there by Romero there in the blue
glove. Good damage.
But, man, look at these combinations coming.
There it is. I finally sidestepped
it. There it is. You miss. If you miss, it can cost you.
Yeah, and you know, Mojo's shown his hands with those linear attacks, and Romero's already.
See what Bailey said? He's shown his hand. He spent the entire first round kind of showing me what he needs to do. Now, granted, he has my body health low. Like, those fucking sidekicks are landing like a motherfucker. But he's not really showing me anything that can really close a show unless I make a mistake. Whereas his head off and his legs.
And he still has another round and a half to get the timing. And you only need to time it once. Exactly. So he's really going to be making those reads. He doesn't have to.
Go ahead, kick him back.
His hand, it might still work for him, though.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a very technical matchup right here. I mean, Bailey, see, look, okay, now we're starting to see more of these side kicks get evaded as the stamina wears down. Have to be careful on these kick techniques here. Man, 1 minute to go in the second round. Nice combination there. Coming out by ZootedMojo. Landing some good, but rock there from Romero comes back out of nowhere, Bailey.
Yeah, couldn't follow up, didn't have enough stamina, so didn't try and chase the finish after he blocked him, but that'll definitely score in this round that was maybe not going his way just because of the volume coming out from Mojo.
Yeah, exactly. Just when you get trained that your opponent is going low, you get a roundhouse to the head right there, and that's what they do. These players know just how to keep their opponent conditioned, to think that I'm doing one thing, and then you come back and you do another, and then you guys exchange it.
Notice what you're talking about. You think your opponent's going low, low, low. So the 1-2 head kick is always a risky setup to go for because it can always duck it. But I felt really confident that he wasn't going to duck it because I had been throwing so many leg kicks in the first round, so he's already conditioned to like, all right, I gotta go block low and check the kick. So, man, that was definitely a tough one. First one was clearly mine. That one definitely wasn't. That was close, but I got the rock there.
Gonna get them started here. Shout out to everyone who's watching online, guys. You know, last time I checked, we had about 1,000 concurrent viewers across all our platforms here, and we still have the 8-man tournament to come, Boxer. So thank you everyone who's tuning in, watching around the world tonight.
Wow, and this is what you're seeing right now. These guys, they know that it's getting down to the wire here. Nice spinning back fist right there from Mojo. And exchanging it there. Romero right back.
So,
and round 3.
Here's the thing with me. So, in the third round, I assume I kind of figured, I didn't know if he knew he was down, but I figured I should be up 2-0. I've seen some bad game scores. I don't know, maybe it could have been like 1-1 or whatever the hell. But I knew at this point where my body health was, I could not afford the pull, and I definitely couldn't afford to sidestep into a body kick. But what I realized was if he had the game plan to do that, he would have been doing that in round 2, right? So I kind of like figured, I'm like, yeah, he's not really building off of these side kicks, just landing them, kind of trying to force me to have an overreaction. So I kind of decided to stick to what's working. We're not going to try to go for anything emphatic here and risk throwing this fight.
This could be anybody's match. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Romero still fading back here under the pressure of those teams now.
Boom, leg kick.
Going back to that leg kick because Sarah's
always trying to get one back.
Oh,
always trying to
big
get one
left
back.
hand from Romero. Not able to follow up, but that's another big rock. It also spells danger because that's a minute into this third round, and he might find a home for it again here, boss.
Quality, baby.
Yeah,
Quality
exactly.
shots.
That was a huge left hand there. Yeah, off of the stance switch. And even though ESFL Adesanya comes out in that traditional stance, I mean, even though in the stance switch, he's still very powerful. Okay, 3 minutes left.
Mudan lost it.
ZootedMojo do what he needs to do to apply enough pressure
I'm familiar with
from a very skilled and talented Romero, who is able to evade and still get the rocks that he needs, even though he's fighting off of the back.
I was pretty happy with my
Mojo
accuracy.
still applying that pressure, baby.
Yeah, Romero.
A lot of quality shots. I was like, bro.
With the straight shots.
That is my biggest gripe with the leg kicks. I really hope they fix the tracking for that next game. Because I should have thrown my his fucking kneecap.
As he turns, there's that body kick again that we've seen Mojo load up on a ton, but he's done more damage to the body than the head health has Mojo. So if he needs to keep working that body, he's got to get it going.
Flashing.
2:30 left. I'd give the last round to Romero based on the rocks. Looking like Romero might take this final round and take this best of 3 because he's up 1-0 already. There's the lead hook.
Yeah, and look,
a slip.
I'm going to take that damage. I'm not going to risk anything.
Spell lights out at the end of a round whenever your head is hurt. I mean, but man,
overreact.
These guys
You can't build.
having a high output.
Solid player, but he can't build off of what he got. Now he's starting to need.
40 seconds left. And look at that combination coming out from Romero. But that gets mitigated by that knee. Nice knee by ZootedMojo. I'm seeing blinking head health, blinking legs.
It's a minute 20.
Both sides. I mean, it could go either way.
Checks that kick.
Check there as well. Romero's
trying to do what Pride did, but I'm not falling for that.
I think Mojo has to land something big, has to get a knockdown if he wants to secure this final round. Romero looking to counter those kicks even more so now. We are into the 5th round.
And this is where the investment into the leg kicks have helped me tremendously because his damage has significantly dwindled, right? Like he's landing shots, but the damage that he could have got has been lowered. Like the ability for him to maximize his output damage, it's done because the leg is already fucked. And his head off is flashing too, so
it's closing down now the amount of opportunities.
So stepping away from the kick.
Got to get up some points on the board. Even just getting a round or a win off Romero to even it up. That can help him if it comes down to the wire.
I could have kicked there.
Down to the wire and
now watch what I'm gonna do.
Tie breaks.
I didn't forget. I didn't forget.
Oh, huge suplex.
I
You don't
forget.
see that all the time. Like we said, Romero knows every aspect of this game, no matter where it goes. You have to be careful. And
Straight
look
back
at
to
there.
the feet, though.
Yeah, that's a
nice
nice
nothing
hit there.
stupid.
5
Nothing
seconds
stupid.
left. 3. What's going to happen? Wow,
There we go.
impressive right there. Man, Romero, you just seen a very technical fight. Give it up for that fight by both of those fighters. Great
He made me
job.
work though. Like that's what I mean. Like he made me work.
Great to have on the main
because I knew that he's more so waiting for me to fuck
the
up.
series. Now, will we go to a best of 3? We're going to see the final
absolutely
decision.
not.
Romero, obviously the Adesanya in the blue gloves. They both picked the same shorts.
Yeah, same shorts.
That's not helpful.
Yep.
But Mojo on the left here, Romero on the right. We'll see whose hand gets raised. We got it. I think we're leaning towards Romero, right?
They scored
It's
20
hard for
minutes.
us to score when we're commentating, so sometimes we get it wrong. And there we go. Romero 17, another win. 2
Good dude, though.
over
Dude's a
Mojo.
cool dude.
There we go. The sportsmanship.
Wow.
He's a good dude.
There, boys. There we go.
He's a good
That was a
dude.
great match.
Good.
But that was fucking tough, man. That was tough. That was like a tough bout. Cause like obviously you're going out there to compete. You're going out there to win. Like you're going out there to win. And that's definitely like he had his own system or caveat of things that he liked to do. So first bout, it was high octane offense where he was looking to kind of get me out. Especially the Volkanovski pick was a very strong pick there too, as well as Holloway. But when he overcommitted to his offense, he found himself getting knocked down a bit. And I kind of shut him down from that point. So he did make an adjustment in terms of how much he was trying to go forward, and then more so trying to look to capitalize on opportunity. But I was like able to kind of work around that, knowing that the offense would be limited without it being too high paced, trying to attack the head. And we were able to secure that decision. So that's another breakdown from ESFL Live Las Vegas. I believe the next bout we're going to have in this tournament, let's see if we can skip over the next one they showcased. It was me versus Davikin. Davikin, ESFL champion on Xbox. I think both on UFC 3 and UFC 4. I think he also won the UFC esports title as well. So he's one of the best players in the world. And we already had secured our top 8 spots once we got here, but this was going to be to determine who's going to be, I think, the 3 seed or the 2 seed. And depending on how the other bout went, to see who's going to get the 1 or 2, because then it would have been based on head-to-heads there. So this is going to be the bout we're breaking next. That's going to be it for this breakdown. RomeroXVII. Hopefully you guys appreciate this. I appreciate all the love and support that we've gotten so far. And out of here.